whenever taking choir practices, I love the people who arrive nice and early and called, as we all do, gets the chairs out. And so thank you very much for getting the chairs out and being ready to start on time. That's really good. I'm very pleased we're up to 1,500 for this. I will repeat lots of the things I'm saying now later when we get lots more people. And it's a dull day here, so it's good to hear of sunshine at various other places, parts of the world. Fantastic. Anyway, it has to be dull occasionally. And of course we're singing about worse than dull. We're singing about storms at sea. And so we're going to enjoy that in a moment. I've been very pleased to hear from lots of people who have taken this on, some of them who haven't sung before. I love it when people sing who haven't sung before, particularly if they want to and haven't just been bullied into it by friend or foe. But there is still time, actually, if people want to do it, because there are ways of learning, and you've got the track and you can teach it to each other and show people how to do it. It would be lovely if that happened. Anyway, and thank you for telling me that. Are you having me on that it's National Cocktail Day? I think you are, but it's, if you are having me on, it's quite a good jest. I quite like that. So splendid. Alistair knows that it's National Cocktail Day, and will provide accordingly. Am I louder now? I'm trying to speak more loudly because some people have said that I'm too quiet. Hello. So thank you for telling me it's National Cocktail Day. We will act accordingly when we're in the middle of the this practice. Isn't it wonderful? We wouldn't normally. It would be outrageous of us to drink cocktails during a choir practice normally, or indeed during rehearsing of the hymns. I have rehearsed hymns sort of during term time every week of my life for about 50 years. So I really enjoy rehearsing people in hymns, because when I was young, the first time I heard a hymn, I loved it and I learnt it and I just played it over and over again. And my dear, wonderful family never complained. I can't remember them complaining anyway. They were so sweet. Here was the one that I played over and over again. I don't know why. And I've learnt since that came from an ancient popular song, which actually went much faster. So often with hymns, which went yum bum 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 da dum dee dum bum ba dum bum ba dee yum bum ba ba da dee 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 dum bum ba da yum bum ba ba dee 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 dum bum ba dum bum ba. And I just played in every single key because I enjoyed the new sound of the piano when you play things in different keys. And so that did me a lot of good because it taught me how to transpose at the piano, and it was all joy. And I do think that that if you can make the learning of music all joy, then that is of course wonderful. And I've had the privilege of being a music teacher all my life. There's very little else that I ever wanted to do, and I've absolutely loved teaching music to everyone, and it just redoubles the pleasure of music to tell other people about it as well. So thank you for coming along and indulging this joy of mine, and particularly hymns. I don't know what it is about hymns. Stephen Fry when he spoke. And do, if you haven't heard it, do go to the Self-Isolation Choir's thing of hymns we did. 8 hymns. Most of you will have sung on it. But if you didn't, go and listen to it. I chose 8 organist friends of mine to and asked them to play the accompaniment to a hymn, and then from cathedrals all over the world, actually, if you include Washington National Cathedral and a church in Texas, and then Llandaff Cathedral and Belfast Cathedral, and I got them all to play these accompaniments, and then everybody joined in. Stephen Fry introduced the whole thing at the beginning, and I purposely asked Stephen because obviously he's a very good speaker and a very knowledgeable man, but he's known as an atheist and he loves hymns. And really the Christian church, I love the thought that the Christian church doesn't keep its music to itself. It's for everyone to join in. And Stephen Fry talked about a friend of his who had said, do you know, I don't think I could love anyone that doesn't love hymns. Wonderful. And he told me of a party he had once where at the end of it, people just all joined in singing hymns. They were at a party and one of them played a hymn on the piano and the other joined it. And then by the end of the evening, they did nothing but sing hymns together. And it is a wonderful thing to do. This evening, we are just doing one hymn. And that hymn, as we know, was Prince Philip's favourite hymn. He actually was stationed in Malta, and he and the Queen spent some time before she became Queen in Malta, stationed in Malta. So they got to love the place. And the name of the tune of this hymn that we're doing is Melita, which is the old name for Malta. And it is called that because of the story of St. Paul's shipwreck in Malta on the bay that is now called St. Paul's Bay. And when you see the finished result, you'll see some pictures of the chapel where I'm privileged to run the music in Greenwich. Do come, please come. Actually, we start Evensongs this Monday at 5:30. So, and a choir, it'll only be a choir of 12. We're normally 24, but the choir of 12 will sing an evensong on Monday, and people can come and be in the congregation. And it is right next to the River Thames. Closest underground is on the DLR, Cutty Sark, because you see the actual Cutty Sark where you walk, and there's a tower. So you walk east from the station, Cutty Sark on the DLR. Actually, I walk to it from Blackheath on Sunday morning when we have services. But on Monday, and it's a beautiful walk, on Monday, come along at 5:30 and sit there and listen. I don't think we're allowed to sing hymns yet, but you can hear us sing, and it's a lovely occasion. Right, let's prepare. We've got 333 people here according to my little number, but I know everyone else will see different numbers of people. Let us just prepare to make noises, which we laughingly call singing. Okay, so first of all, just do a stretch like this, round and about, right round and about like this. Here we go. And round to the front as well. There we go. Out like that, round like that to the front. Here we go. Shoulders round the other way. Because doing that opens up your lungs. Allow breath to tumble in. The breath wants to come into your lungs. Your lungs want the breath to come in. It should never be a struggle to breathe. Okay, allow your ribcage to get larger. do a bit more of that so that your rib cage really feels. And now breathe in more than we would normally to sing. Breathe in. More so that you can feel your ribs being pushed out. And the intercostal muscles between your ribs, they don't actually act as normal muscles. They're just connecting muscles. They will be stretched. And that will enable you to take more breath in. So taking a breath like that, we then sing na 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 na, and do it almost in a kind of playground insulting way, na 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 na, because that way you get the nice bright sound. So sing na na, 3 4, na 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 na. Now slightly higher. Ma 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 ma, and go. Ma 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 ma. And this one. Ma 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 ma. Okay. And now see if we can do this one. Ma 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 ma. Go. Ma ma ma. Okay, lovely. Now we should feel ready to sing this lovely thing, and we're going to just I'm going to sing the lines over to you first of all, and ask you to join in after that. So here's the first line, and it's just there are 6 lines per verse, and ending usually, except for one verse, in "For Those in Peril on the Sea." And it's because of that that this hymn has become known as "For Those in Peril on the Sea." Okay, so Eternal Father. I'll sing one and then you join in, or you can do it with me as well if you like. Eternal Father, strong to save, and go. Eternal Father, strong to save. Okay, and did you notice I did a little different harmony there? Organists tend to do that. So instead of iter, I did iter. That's called reharmonization. And in the last verse, you'll notice that our excellent organist, Jonathan Eyre, does a reharmonization of the last verse. So don't be put off by that. It'll sound different, but it should be rather exciting because he's using different chords, different combinations under the same tune. That's what a reharmonization is. Okay, so we've done the first line. Now we're going to do the highest line. So basses, if you're like me, you'll find this a little bit awkward sometimes. I'll sing it first and I'll attempt to make it not sound awkward. Whose arm doth bind the restless wave. Did I sound awkward on doth? I'll try again, and I'm going to make it better because I'm going to let the breath go psss. So everybody, will you do an S together like an angry snake? So apparently, I've never heard a snake make that. Well, I've hardly ever seen a snake, but apparently they go sss. Okay, so the S sound, please, everybody. Breath, and really be angry as a snake. Go. Sss. Okay, do it again. And go. Sss. Okay, now that should have prepared your breath for its flow. So, whose arm? 1, 2, 3. Whose arm doth bind the restless wave? Okay. Doth bind the rest. I was trying to make that sound easy. Okay. So next we go. Who bids the mighty ocean deep? Now, the musical ones who read music, I always like to put a little clever little awkwardness in just to catch people out. No, I don't. It was a genuine mistake. There was a wrong rhythm in the tune that's written out. whose arm doth bind the restless wave. Okay, so that's called a little melodic sequence. And then the same thing a little bit higher up. Okay, and for some reason we humans in music like that kind of repeat. We, having done that, we like it when it then does. Okay, and it's called a sequence. I don't know why we like it. Perhaps it's familiarity. Perhaps it's home. So together, who bids the mighty, and put a little bit of who bids the mighty, 2, 3. Who bids the mighty ocean deep. And the whole thing is to enjoy singing mighty because it's mighty ocean. And then its own appointed limits keep. 1, 2, 3. Its own appointed limits keep. Now, can I explain something musical to you? I suppose I'm explaining musical things to you all the time. But we've gone quite a long way from C major where we started. And we've gone right up to the E minor. And we like home, don't we? We like being at home. Sailors particularly like being at home if they've been out in an angry sea. So we then, this moment, for the last 2 lines, we're very gently but speedily and efficiently taken back home. Listen to this. That's home. And this is thoroughly home. Okay, so, oh, I'm going to sing "Oh, hear us when we cry to thee." Oh, hear us when we cry to thee. 2, 3. Oh, hear us when we cry to thee. Okay, then the last lovely line. For those in peril on the sea. Okay, then. Through the first verse with me, Eternal Father, strong to save. 1, 2, 3. Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arm doth bind the restless. 1, 2, 3. Who bids the mighty ocean deep, its own appointed limits keep. Oh, hear us when we cry to thee, for those in peril on the sea. Then the next verse is for upper voices. O Saviour, whose almighty word the winds and waves submissive heard. They submitted when they heard your word. Who walks on the foaming deep, and calm amid the rage didst keep. O hear us when we cry to thee. So we'll go through it with the organ in a little bit, all the way through. And then, next one, lower voices. And of course, if upper voices want to join in, somebody asked me last time, you're most welcome to, if you can sing that low. If you can't, just sing the ones that you can. But don't sing the higher up ones, or we'll just have to do some little clever deleting, because this is for men. And you'll hear, don't be put off by the organ. Jonathan Eyre plays this in a really rumbling. And he's using an electronic organ, because our organ, sadly, in the Old Royal Naval College is ill and needs to be, and is going to go to hospital soon and have some new pipes put in and things. And so we had this wonderful electronic, we did a broadcast last week. You can still hear it from last Wednesday, or yesterday, a week ago, Radio 3. do listen to the choir if you like, because it's wonderful. And at the end, there's a wonderful anthem. If you don't listen to anything else, listen to the last 20 minutes with the anthem by Brahms, which sets a poem about not getting upset, being calm. Sei stille, it's in German, of course, and sei stille and be strong. Steh fester, say be strong. So that's the, if you go onto Radio 3, BBC Sounds, you find BBC Sounds, and then you can listen to it again. Anyway, so, O sacred spirit who didst brood upon the chaos dark and rude, that's you, but lower voices. So, and really enjoy these words. Whiting wrote these, William Whiting wrote the words in 1860 for inclusion in Hymns Ancient and Modern, which was first published in 1861. And he used Psalm 107. It's based on Psalm 107. Now, I love Psalms. There are 150 of them. And I preside over a wonderful thing called the Choral Evensong Trust. And if you want to hear me talking about Psalms, you go to their website, Choral Evensong Trust, and I do a little video all about my favourite Psalms and why. And I don't mention this one, although I do love this one, Psalm 107. And they're always included in Evensong. So on Monday, if you come to Evensong at the Old Royal Naval College Chapel, 5 o'clock, another plug, you will hear us singing a psalm. We sing it on our own, the psalm. So this one is Psalm 107. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is gracious. And as with Evensong, I feel that the works written for the Christian church, and psalms weren't even written for the Christian church, of course. They are for the ancient Jewish temple. And I don't believe we should keep them to ourselves. We should share them. And they are packed with 3,000-year-old wisdom. Or is it more than that? 3,000, my arithmetic, 3,500-year-old wisdom. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is gracious. And you can just, if you are not religious, you can say, oh, give thanks. Give thanks. Say, oh, thank you, this is wonderful. Thank you for music. Thank you for the music we had in ABBA. Which we weren't thanking anybody, we were just saying thank you for the music, which is lovely. Here, Psalm 107, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is gracious, and his mercy endureth forever. And I turn over to verse 23, and here it is in this beautiful little psalter. They that go down to the sea in ships, and occupy their business in great waters, these men see the works of the Lord, and his wonders in the deep. For at his word the stormy wind ariseth, which lifteth up the waves thereof. They are carried up to the heaven, and down again to the deep, their soul melteth away because of the trouble. Now this is a lovely verse. They reel to and fro, and stagger like a drunken man, and are at their wits' end. So when they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, he delivered them out of their distress. For he maketh the storms to cease, and so that the waves thereof are still. Then are they glad, because they are at rest, and so he bringeth them unto the haven where they would be. That's a wonderful Psalm 107. And in the Old Royal Naval College Chapel, we quite often sing that, set to various people's setting. So now let us do the last verse together, and then I'll get us all to sing the hymn, okay, with the organ. Now, Trinity of love and power. Are you ready? 1, 2, go. O Trinity of love and power, our brethren shield in dangers are. From rock and tempest, fire and fall, protect them wheresoe'er they go, and never let there rise to thee glad hymns of praise from land and And I will be conducting you, of course, in the real thing. And you can find a video already of me conducting you just to help you. But please enjoy the words. If you have an unusual word like brood, we don't often use that in conversation. Enjoy brood upon the chaos, dark and rude. Rude means sort of basic chaos. Who badst its angry tumult cease. Okay, now we're going to do it with the organ all the way through from our lovely chapel, and then I'm going to, if you're good, I'll tell you another story, just one more story about Malta, and then here we go. So now puts his headphones in so that he can hear it, and I can hear a promising clanking of glass. Good. So I mustn't anticipate it, otherwise it might not happen. So here we go. Are you ready? This is brooding, you see. This is a noise for brooding. Great stuff. Well done. Now, whoops, so sorry, that's me starting it again. Okay, stop it. Do you see? Winds and waves and this music, submissive, heard, sorry. Somebody asked about rolled R's. When we sing, we often do rolled R's. Do a rolled R if you like. It's great fun. Some people can't do it. My sister was excellent at showing people how to do it by putting a tongue at the top and doing an ordinary R and rolling back and forth and breathing in, breathing across. Anyway, and apparently French people didn't do R's. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong about this story. Didn't do R's like that, but did rolled R's. And so thank you very much for getting the chairs out and being ready.
I seem to be talking
on time. That's
Alistair,
really
I seem to
good.
be can you hear me?
I'm very pleased we're up to
Starting,
1500
look.
for this.
I seem to have
I will
started the
repeat lots
session.
of the things I'm saying now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I played me starting the session. Anyway, good. So I told you that I'd tell you a quick little story about Malta. If you go into, before we sing it all the way through once again, if you go into our wonderful chapel, in the Old Royal Naval College Chapel, you will be able to see at the front a picture by Benjamin West, apparently the only one of his pictures which is still in the place for which it was intended, at the east end of that chapel, for pensioners who had been fighting and on ships and sailors, and for them to come and be looked afterwards. It was a hospital and to look after old people. And they had this wonderful picture painted for them. If you look at it, you will see that it's where St. Paul has been shipwrecked, and it's on the coast of Malta, and the islanders come to help him. They light a fire, a snake goes on his hand, and he is able to get rid of it. And there's terrific sort of help and warmth. I love the thought of people welcoming people to their country. You know, I just love any form of welcoming people from other countries into our lands. And that's what they were doing after this shipwreck. And there's a wonderful story of the heroism. I mentioned a book about the Siege of Malta by Ernest Bradford. Siege of Malta 1565, and the story was that after the Turks had come to invade, they fought off the Turks, but the Turks were coming back because they feared the Ottoman. They couldn't bear to, and I'm sorry if I'm getting any of this wrong, this is all from memory, they couldn't bear to go back to their leader because they'd all be punished nastily. So they made one last try, and they arrived with guns and things. But they didn't know that the Maltese had run out of ammunition. Everything had been done, all bits of gunpowder had been done. So the boss I can't remember what he was called, but he told them to go into Rabat, which was the capital of Malta, to stand up on the castle, to go on the ramparts, and all the population to gather out and make a huge noise of anger and defiance, and to throw to fire off the only bit of ammunition they'd got left. And then with any luck they'd think they had loads more ammunition, but in fact they hadn't, because they squandered the ammunition well before the Turks had arrived close enough for the ammunition to make any effect. And so they just blew it all off in one great thing, and yelled and waved. He told them to bring broomsticks and bring anything you like and wave them. And they scared the invaders off. And the invaders went and got back in their boat and went back. And they came back to make one last try at St. Paul's Bay. And sadly, a sad story of them being slaughtered by the Maltese after that. But the islanders came together, which is wonderful. Anyway, I'm only going to go on for just over half an hour. So that was the story. I just love that story about the Maltese, the wonderful camaraderie that they showed. So John Bacchus Dyke's tune, Melita. John Bacchus Dykes was a Durham man, St. Oswald's Durham, and in the cathedral. If you want to record this, as you all do, the system is explained. It's not late to join. The system was all explained to you. Oh, by the way, I love the story of Mark, our leader, meeting Nick Madden, who sang in the so magnificently in Prince Philip's funeral, and he is helping with the Tenebrae offering, which is wonderful. He's a lay clerk at in St. George's, and do everybody be aware of these wonderful opportunities as choristers to go and sing in one of our cathedrals, and they have such a good education there, and it's so often underwritten, and they are funded by the cathedral. So do that. Anyway, here we go. I've said enough. And so I'm going to get you to sing it all the way through once again. Eternal Father, strong to save. I will then... Oh, look what has appeared for me. Oh, ho, ho. Look at this. So, thank you, everybody. Lovely to see you. I'll see you next. Thank you, Alistair, who's modestly disappeared. No, he might just come and look. No, he's not going to. Thank you, Alistair. So, everybody, it's lovely to be with you. Thank you very much, Mark, and for organising this wonderful thing, and sing and enjoy it. Here we go, Melita. Thank you.